Oh
What's happening, YouTube? You in the building again with the Life Game Avengers of Current Culture. It's me, and it's the People's Champ Moochella,
yeah. The
who
champ is
hangs.
here.
Moochella's in the building, ladies and gentlemen, and she is doing well. By the way, she's got her YouTube channel going, people, and she's reviewing City on the Hill. Please be sure to subscribe to the Moochie's channel. Link is in the description. I went and checked out her review of City on the Hill, and it almost made me want to jump in and do the reviews with her. She did an excellent job. I'm proud of you, Mooch.
Look, you're welcome to join me. You are
I,
welcome to join.
I might have to do it, Mooch, because you did a damn good job on that review. I mean, I'm ready to go watch it.
And it's on episode 5, but I just dropped y'all with episode 1. I like the interaction I just like to talk to people. So I want to go live where I could talk to my people about it and know y'all opinions.
Right. Well, as long as you keep growing that channel, which you're doing, you'll be able to go live and you'll be able to interact with everybody. Just keep on pushing, and you about to be there, Moochie. But tonight we talking about that Godfather. And I ain't talking about your children's Godfather. I'm talking about that Godfather of Harlem. How did you feel about the episode last night overall, Moochie?
I liked last night's episode, but once again, it's a climax episode with some parts and a build-up episode with other parts.
It definitely was that. I enjoyed it overall because it's just really a smooth, edgy series, and it don't really take you on too many highs. It doesn't take you on any lows at all. But like Moochie said, last night was kind of like, it felt like a climax, but they left you with a cliffhanger. So Moochie, before we get started, let me shout out the people. So far we got D Weave in the building. We got Miss Todd in the building. We got Buzz. We got Ronald. Tressa C is in the building. Alex is definitely in the building. And look who decided to show up. The big brother Larry is in the building.
Man, I'm telling you, man, I think I might be heading to the Apple store later this week or something. I've been having so many technical issues. I'm about to dump this thing and get a new one.
What?
Yeah, man, I can't seem like for what I was trying to log in, I couldn't get any audio.
Get out of here. But your Mac is pretty up to date though, right?
It is, but I drive my Mac hard, man. I'm editing on this thing probably like, I don't know, 5-6 hours a day, every day. Okay. I mean, they say it's a pro machine, and I treat it like one. I mean, I drive this thing to the hilt. So, okay. I mean, I'm not disappointed if it's on its last legs, because I have gotten my use out of it.
Gotcha. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now got Larry to the party. Larry, I just asked Mooch, how did she feel overall essence of the episode? And I'm gonna ask you the same thing. What was your overall essence of Godfather of Harlem season 2, episode 2?
Man, I really liked this episode. It was one of these good episodes that had a nice amount of drama in it, even though it was still sort of like a setup episode. They were setting it up for future drama, but it still had enough meat in there to really get you and hold your attention. And that ending with Bumpy and Chin, it reminded me of that scene with Franklin and Jerome.
Yeah,
where he was basically like, Bumpy knew. He was like, he needs to blow off some steam. He needs to, he has so much inside of him, and he needs to get it out. He
needs to get that hate out his heart.
He needs to get that hate out his heart. Exactly.
Hate out his heart. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and give a little quick video recap of what went down on episode 2. Then we'll go through and break it down part by part. By the way, at the end of this review, we'll talk a very brief period about the Oscars last night. I think Larry saw it. Did you see it, Moochella?
I watched DMX funeral, and then I was doing the other stuff.
Okay, so we'll have to. Oh God, that means we're going to have to rely solely on Larry's opinion about the Oscars.
I didn't watch it.
Okay, well then we'll just be going through the highlights of what I saw.
There you go. Because I skipped it. I was like, I didn't really have any interest. I didn't know about.
I know who won certain things, but
right.
I didn't.
Yeah, I saw some of the Victor, some of the list of people who won, but I just generally didn't have that much interest in the films that were nominated.
Understood.
So,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, Godfather of Harlem 2, quick review.
For years, I'm proposing to eliminate the Italians. The new world is here, my brothers.
Investigation of Italian gangsters and their colleagues.
Now is not the time for black men to turn on each other.
You could help me get the big fish, Italian organized crime.
I don't rap.
It's elimination of the competition.
Oh
man, Mamie is just so damn fun.
Man, yeah, that Mamie, she is she's intense.
Man.
Ladies, when I say a woman is intense, it don't get no higher than that. She's intense. What's up, Stanley Powell? So let's get this thing kicked off right, and be sure to tell your friends about this show. It's great. Be sure to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to go check out Moochie's channel. Definitely check out Larry's channel. And let's get into
it. If you guys are in the super chat right now or in just watching, just take a quick second and hit that thumbs up right now early on, because the earlier that the thumbs up get pushed out there, the more likely it gets pushed up the algorithm and more people find the show and more people watch. So if you're watching right now, just take a quick moment, hit that thumbs up.
Yep. Early on in the segment, Moochie, we're going to come to you first. We find our boy Bumpy Johnson hanging with Bernie Sanders.
You know what? Who did that?
Y'all just playing. Okay, y'all. Bernie Sanders did not make any appearances on Godfather of Harlem. Okay, that was just a joke. Ha ha.
I like that though.
I would have loved it if he did, though.
Hey,
I would have loved it if he did.
Boy.
Look, he got his mask on, Larry.
Yeah, that's right. He got his mask and his gloves on. But honestly, people, the first scene we see Chin hanging out in the car. And ladies and gentlemen, beginning this episode, Vincent Chin is still upset with Bumpy because this Negro has outsmarted him time and time again. And all I'm saying to myself is, when is Chin going to realize Chin himself is not that bright? He's not smart. And so he had his boy Ernie blow up a couple of Bumpy spots, and all in the backdrop of while we get ready to have a big fight between Sonny Liston and Cassius Clay. And a lot of people are betting that Cassius Clay is going to get his ass beat. So, Moochie, I'm coming to you first. How did you think this was going to end? They blowing up all of Bumpy's gambling spots, trying to take him out. What did you think was going to happen from this?
Bumpy is already 2 steps ahead of them, thinking ahead. And he's like, all right, I'm going to let you have this right now. Go ahead, do what you got to do with that. And Chin is so mad, he just seeing red where he's not even thinking with anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And he's sending Ernie to go blow stuff up, and he come running back to the car.
Did you see the look on Ernie's face? Ernie, I look, y'all. Y'all don't think I'm joking, but I'm not. Ernie came back to that car smiling so big, ears get wet. You
like
would
a
think,
chest-out cat.
yes, you would think Ernie just went and got him a good piece of you know what, and all he did was go blow up one of Bumpy Johnson's gambling spots. Come on, Ernie, man. Ernie gonna die.
It wasn't even a gambling spot. It was one of his number spots.
Yeah, not gambling numbers, same thing. Yeah, same thing. Larry, speak on this scene, brother.
He's blowing up the number spots and his juke joint.
And the juke joint, yep.
Well, see, I think of the number spot as just like a spot where people go and put their numbers in and get paid out, maybe. I think of the gambling joint like one of the underground casinos. But I don't think he blew up anything but the building. Because when they told Bumpy was like, yeah, I know. He has to get some steam out. He was like, let it happen. He was like, seemed like he already knew what was coming, so he probably moved everybody out, anything valuable out. And he was like, yeah, whatever, let him blow it up. It's not a big deal. I have a bunch of other places already lined up, ready to go. Like, he probably already moved the operation to someplace else. And this, because the guy, remember when he was in the car, he said, or when he was talking about it earlier, he said, oh, we're going to get the spot on what was it, on 25th and on 40th, and he named like 3 spots. Bumpy was probably like, these are the spots he knows about. So let's just go ahead and move our stuff up out of there. We'll move operations. And when he goes and blows these joints up, we won't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't shook at all.
No, he didn't.
As I said, he was anticipating this move. So he said, you're right. He probably cleaned everything out. when nobody gets hurt, because you know how Bumpy look out for everybody.
Yep.
And moved over to other spots. Look, you must be looking at this location today.
Not to mention, with Bumpy knowing they coming to destroy his property, you know he had nice insurance policies on all that shit. And he cleaned up, got his insurance money. That's why Bumpy won't worried about no dumbass Vincent Chin. I mean, come on, Chin.
And he probably had the insurance policy. He probably had his policy through an Italian insurance company, so the Italians had to pay again.
Exactly. And what now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what they call them on the show. They call them guineas on the show. They call us niggas, and they call them guineas on the show. But the next clip, I'm coming to you, Larry, and I purposefully, Larry, made sure I'm coming to you with this one. But before I come to you, let me remind my people, you still living in that snowfall life? Go check my man out, thehypeparadise.com. Get all your snowfall gear, 10% off. You use the code LifeGains, and the shipping is free. Larry, we had a Mamie sighting, my brother. Mamie done called Clayton Powell, saying that she wants to take up ranks in the nonprofit with that job he promised her. And he's saying no to her, Larry. He's saying no to her because he's trying to take down the Italians, and he knows that her husband is involved with the Italians. But she said to him, with that only the face she could say, this is no time for blacks to be trying to take down blacks. Larry, what break this scene down when she called him, he denied her, and then she basically said, I got my eyes on you, boy.
Yeah, first of all, she's not showing up and putting them eyes on you and think you're gonna say no for very long. Just not gonna happen, you know. Nope. But she did. She broke him down. She was like, "This is not the time for black men to be turning on each other," you know. But I mean, it was one of those things where I feel, Adam Clayton Powell in there, because it was like, your husband is a gangster, and if you're trying to do something on the up and up, or even if you're just trying to do something that is going to cause a lot of scrutiny from the public, from newspapers, from other politicians that may have it out for you, that you have to be on the absolute up and up and be squeaky clean on that deal. And her husband being a gangster just wasn't going to allow that to happen. It was going to be dirty.
Yeah.
But he did find a nice way around that. He did work a nice angle. I won't go any further, but she showed up. She wasn't going to be denied.
No. And I mean, she showed up at my warehouse. I ain't going to deny her either. Muchella, speak on it.
She listened to Elise's advice when they were sitting down chatting. She told her to put on some red lipstick and a red dress, but she changed it to fuchsia and put her own little spin on it and went in there and, handle her business. He like chasing skirts.
Yeah. What you trying to say about Clayton Powell?
He is. I mean, come on.
What you trying to say?
He's smart enough.
When you watch this show, it makes you want to go back and do your research about stuff. It makes you want to look these people up.
Right.
And I went and looked him up, and he's fine. The real guy, he looks good.
So you saying this dude right here looks horrible?
No. I like him. He's fine too. But I'm just saying, how you want to see how the real people look? Mm-hmm. That's what I mean.
Okay. Okay. So Larry, what you was getting ready to dive into, we're jumping into that next, but I'm gonna start with Moochie. I think this is what you're going to dive into. So Clayton Powell winds up making it. I'm not going to say he made a deal with Mamie, but he worked around the workaround Mamie wanted, where he's not going to per se destroy the black person involved with the Italians, who is Bumpy Johnson. So he brings in a Fed guy, and he basically tells the Fed guy he can handle this investigation the way he wants to. And what does he want to do? He is going to give Bumpy Johnson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. And I looked this up, and this is the way they tried to handle this in the beginning. He was going to give Bumpy Johnson full immunity and allow him to keep doing the drugs because they wanted the Italian mob so bad. Moochie, pick up on that scene. That was powerful.
So when he shows up to his spot, they gonna check everything and they don't even see what's going on. Bumpy's 2 steps ahead of them. He already know how they are with the black man, so he got his stuff clean. His nose is always clean around his legit businesses. Let's just get that out there.
Yep.
Now, this guy, his name is Morgenthau. He was like, "You not even a big fish. We gonna throw you back. I want the big fish." Okay. He's like, "You not even worried. I want the big fish. So you gonna help me?"
Moochie, Morgenthau must not never been fishing before because he don't really know the smartest fish in the pond is Bumpy Johnson.
Exactly.
I mean, what way he been fishing at? He been fishing in a ditch. He ain't been in no pond fishing. He been ditch fishing. Because Bumpy is really and truly the biggest fish to catch. He just don't know that yet. So,
I think they probably was going by his record or whatever. You know, I'm just going there. Because remember when he was in jail, but he didn't snitch on nobody. So they don't know anything. So whatever he got caught with was some nickel and dime stuff, I guess.
Right. And plus, let's keep this thing 100% real. This is the 60s. He's probably thinking, ain't no way in hell a Negro is in control and got this much brain power to manipulate the Italian mob. Let's just keep that thing real. I'm coming to you, Larry. Swing it our way, brother. What do you think about the introduction of Morgenthau and his proposal to Bumpy?
Yeah, I mean that takes a lot of intestinal fortitude and loyalty to the streets to simply say nah. Because he offered him immunity for everything that he had done in the past, and everything that he would do in the future. He basically was getting a get out of jail free card. I mean, he was going to
let him keep doing his business.
He was going to. I mean, he could have expanded his business. He could have continued to do drugs, run guns, just gambling, girls, whatever he wanted to do. He could have done it all, and he would have been immune. I mean, even if they would have shut it down, he would have never have gone to jail for it. Now, it would have been messed up because it would have only have been him and not his people. But, I mean, the way it is with a lot of these people, they worry about themselves first. But, yeah, I mean, that took a lot to say no. But, Bumpy's a street dude. He's a street cat. And, that's what he was worried about. He was like, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and take this info that you gave me and I'm going to figure out a better way to use it.
And boy, did he ever use it, ladies and gentlemen. Not only did he use it and then he manipulated it to make it even worse. So this damn Bumpy, he don't play checkers. He played chess. And they highlighted that. Yes, they highlighted that in this episode. Let me shout out some of the people. Mo is dropping us a line saying Morgenthau was the DA from 75 to 2009. Manhattan District, a lot of y'all know the Manhattan District is where they get a lot of white collar crime, a lot of wire fraud charges. That's big time. When you can make it, when you become an attorney for that district in Manhattan, man, you see some stuff.
I think this was the same dude that caught Nicky Barnes too.
It is.
He's the one that made Nicky Barnes squeal.
Yep. AOV, Bumpy ain't no snitch. Yeah, sure ain't. Derek South in the building. He knows Bumpy is a major force. Remember, he told Powell that towards the end of the episode. Yeah, he told him at the end when he figured out Bumpy ain't nothing to be played with. That's for sure.
But yeah, but when he first approached Bumpy, he underestimated him, and he said it. He said, "Yeah, I underestimated him. I didn't realize quite who I was dealing with." And I think when he goes, because we're not going to see the last. That's not going to be the last we'll see of Morgenthau. So when he comes back again, he's going to come back with a different offer, I'm sure.
Exactly. So. Carbro says he thought his reach was only in the black community, while the Italians control unions and government. Yeah, I mean, like Larry said, you underestimated a brother. And how often do we see in America the brother's intelligence is underestimated? They say we got more muscles than white people. Well, hell, the brain can be considered a muscle. Why you don't put that into consideration, damn it. But yeah, Bumpy is that dude. Now, Larry,
and the crazy thing is, oftentimes when people get underestimated, it just opens up opportunities. Sometimes it holds certain people back because they can't get regular old day jobs. But other people who are underestimated, it allows them to freedom. It allows them the space to move and operate in ways that other people just don't even see coming. They're like, it's like when you would, like back in the day when politicians would let their servants just into the room and they would have these high level conversations about stuff and they couldn't even see the black person in the room there because that's all they thought. Oh, they're just some black person, just some Niagara. They don't know nothing. They don't hear nothing. Even if I told them everything that was going on, they wouldn't understand it anyway. So that's what they thought. So when all of a sudden people in those positions were able to take that information and utilize it, they were just totally thrown it back. They couldn't believe it because their white supremacy just allowed them to think they were so far above everybody else that they couldn't even imagine that black people could do things that it's so ridiculous to think of it that way because it's just like you guys are just really dumb, like just wholly dumb.
Be more careful in the building with the wonderful, wonderful super chat. I appreciate.
I'm not saying all white people are dumb. I'm saying the people that think that way are dumb. Just to make that clear.
Yeah, he's saying racists are dumb. That's what he's saying. We appreciate that, my big homie Larry, and coming to you with this one because this played a significant role, and this could be a turning point for this character in this show. I like this character too, Larry. I don't like her like Mamie, but I do like her.
I like her too.
Stella had a meetup with Teddy's mom, and the whole premise of that meetup was Stella just felt like she couldn't move on. She's thinking about Teddy every day. Now, if you guys remember last season, Teddy's mom really did not approve of this relationship because
no one approved of that relationship.
Yeah, not Teddy's mom. Bumpy didn't because of this dynamic with blacks and whites. Plus, you know, Bumpy knew whose daughter
because of the safety of her son.
Exactly.
And
so they got together.
Once he was doing music, he wasn't going to be a problem. Like that wasn't going to ever be a problem.
I don't know why she was thinking that. I look at Stella's lips. I think she might have some black in her.
You know what? You're going to stop right now.
Well, all I'm going to say is I like Stella. I'm cool with Stella. Stella's all right with me. But she has this meeting with Teddy's mom because she wanted to get some forgiveness and some closure. And you know what? Teddy's mom was the bigger of the people in this situation because she was like, baby, you forgiven. I wouldn't even have showed up. Larry, is this going to be a turning point for Stella?
Yes, I think, but to what end, I don't know. I mean, we already saw the previews that they aired right after the episodes. So we have an idea of what kind of route she's going down. It's just a matter of where that path is taking her. You know, who's on the other end of that gun barrel that we saw in the trailer for the next episode. But I like the fact that she stepped up and went to her mother and asked for a pause. She accepted responsibility for it. She was like, look, I didn't pull the trigger, but I understand it was my people. It was a direct consequence of him being with me or us being together that got him killed. And, you know, so I'm glad that she took responsibility for that. And she went to the mom and she just basically begged for forgiveness. And, you know, I mean, what else can you do? I mean, the boy's gone. You know, I mean, you can't bring him back. So, I mean, what else could you do in that moment except ask for forgiveness, you know?
Yeah. Moochie, your thoughts on Stella and also on the mom actually forgiving this chick because the mom ain't have to forgive her. The mom could have, you know, lumped her into that sack of coal and why her son died.
She forgave her because she knew that Stella really loved him.
Yeah.
And as far as Stella, she's seeing how her father really get down. And it's kind of weird because everybody she likes, he's too possessive.
Yeah.
He kind of act like he likes Stella enough that he might want to sleep with her.
Yeah, it's like
he's acting real Donald Trumpish.
Yeah, like, bruh.
He's acting real Donald Trumpish with his daughter. But you know what's interesting is that what's his name who loves her? What's the Italian boy's name?
Ernie.
Ernie really loves her, but Ernie seems to keep trying to get with her by acting more like her father, not recognizing that she hates her dad. She doesn't want a man that's anything like her dad.
I think that's because
get with her by being more like her dad.
That's because I think he fears her dad more than he loves her.
Yeah, but he keeps like, if he really wanted to be with, and maybe you're right, man, that's all it is. He just fears it. But I'm thinking to myself, if you really wanted to be with her, simply get out the game. Get out the game. Go get out the game and go get a square job.
Man,
because I don't think
stop it. The money that dude is making, he is not about to go work at Piggly Wiggly for 5 cents an hour.
And that was the time when the young Italian men were flashy.
Yeah. Oh no.
They used to have their flashy cars, they suits, and all of that. They shiny shoes, all of that.
They got more. They got more.
He likes the lifestyle too much. I'm sorry.
Well, that's the thing.
But he likes the lifestyle.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't even know if it's so much that he's afraid of Chin. I think it's just the fact that he likes the lifestyle more than he likes the girl. If he really liked the girl, change your life. Be less like her dad, because that's not what she wants. Take yourself off to college or something. You know?
She don't even like him. Period.
I don't get the sense that she does not like him. She may not like him romantically, but I don't get the feeling like she just doesn't like him. I think she doesn't want to be with him, and part of because who he is. You know,
like she might settle with him.
I think she might consider being with him if he wasn't in the game. She doesn't want somebody in the game because she doesn't want to be with her dad.
I feel like she might settle with him now.
Nah, what she gonna do is
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She's going to get with someone who can take her father down. That's what she's going to do.
No. She's definitely not getting with Ernie. I don't believe so. I mean, it might get to a point where it looks like she will, because they keep putting the two of them together with them going out on walks and spending time together because the pops made them do so. But I wouldn't be surprised if she just basically uses Ernie while they're in that situation, and then uses that to get close to somebody. Maybe she tries to kill her pops, or maybe she goes and kills one of the other Italians or something. But I think she's gonna
use him, and she's gonna convince him to move out of town.
You know what it is?
If he marries her, Chin will put him in charge of something where they be out of town somewhere.
Now they're not getting married. I just realized what happened. I already know what's going to happen because we saw her in the preview holding a gun. And earlier in this episode when she was walking with Ernie, she asked what happened to the dude that shot her boyfriend. He said, "Oh, he got punished or whatever. He got sent to Florida," and so he's in Florida. I'm thinking either one, she's going to figure out she's going to manipulate her way to go down to Florida. Either she's going to say, I want to get away. I need to get out of this town. Send me to Florida so I can just be out of town and get away from all of this. I need to get my head clear. And maybe she'll say, okay, Ernie, go with her, look after her. And she's going to take that opportunity to go find the dude that killed her man and take him out.
Yeah.
So
I can see that happening.
I can see that for sure happening because she wants closure, and she probably ain't going to get no closure till she feel like she take down individuals involved in taking out her man, because Moochie, you know what they say, once you go black, you never go back.
but the other thing is maybe she doesn't go to Florida. Maybe they bring dude back up because I think his name was Benny something, and Ernie was in the car. It was Ernie, the other dude, the driver. He was in the car and he was saying, hey, we don't have a deep crew like that anymore. We don't have these dudes. You got all these really rough black dudes up there in Harlem. We don't have that deep crew. You sent what's his name away, and he was a real player, but you sent him away. And I think that now Chin is probably thinking, okay, I need to get my crew together. So maybe I'll bring him back, and maybe he brings him back into New York from Florida, and maybe that's how we end up seeing Stella with the gun and ready to bust dude. Because then that causes all kinds of problems for Chin. If his daughter kills that dude, and now all of a sudden she killed I don't know if that dude that killed him is made or not, but if he is, that causes all kinds of problems for Chin because now he has to answer to the family. Then Chin is going to have to answer for his daughter, and that's going to be a problem.
Well, speaking of answering for someone, here's a man who answers to his own beat. When they try to squeeze him, Bumpy comes up with a plan. Now, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, I love every piece of this. So Bumpy devised a plan it's a robust plan. It involves the police. It involves being associated with an Italian. And the reason why he had to be associated with an Italian is because their asses is racist, point blank. And He's going to be the main connect. He's going to control all the heroin coming in, and he's going to make a mass distribution across the United States. How is he going to do that? Bumpy done something that a lot of brothers couldn't do. Bumpy united all the gangsters across the United States. He went and got the Black Mafia family from Detroit. He went and got the folks in St. Louis. He went and got the people in California, and he brought his boy Sam back from Philly to help him with his cause. Moochie, it's your turn. What did you think when Bumpy unveiled this plan to a group of brothers? Some of them don't even like each other, and some of them don't believe this can work because they feel like the Italians, they got this thing on lock, whatever. Bumpy explains the plan, and then Method Man's character, Sam from Philly, seals the deal for him, and you get these dudes who normally beef are about to try to become very rich with Bumpy.
You got Kansas, DC, Philly, Detroit, Cali.
Yep.
If they everybody sit here and be on their own accord, it could work.
Right.
Because you still had the dude from Atlanta saying, "Oh, but you're gonna be in charge."
Right. Mm-hmm.
What difference does it make if you're getting the stuff cheaper? Y'all all together.
Yeah. And that's when Sam came in and was like, yo, we need to do this. At first, Sam was a little, I don't know. You know, at first they was just thinking, why don't we just take this this heroin we stole and push that? And Bumpy's like, okay, think of the bigger picture, fellas. Play chess, not checkers. Larry, what'd you think about this scene, my brother?
Yeah, it was a really nice scene, man. It was good to see all those black men out there coming together saying, yeah, let's think about this. Who cares about hating on each other when we're talking about making real money? And it was a real parallel because it really was showing sort of the same sort of relationship that the mafia families had together versus with these guys. With these guys, they didn't like each other necessarily. Like Bumpy said, some of you know each other, some of you don't like each other. You know, some of you have been friends, some of you have been enemies. But in that sense of making money, it doesn't really, you don't have to like the person you do business with if making money in your business is the most important thing. Now, if you're running a nonprofit and you have a political band, then yeah, maybe you care about who you're working with, but it's just about money, you don't care. So,
right.
You know, and I like the fact that dude from Philly was like, because at one point he was like, why don't we just keep the heroin? He was like, nah, it's not the good move. And it didn't take much convincing of him. It seemed like even though the one dude was like, oh, and I guess you're going to be the king. And Bumpy said, yeah, I'm going to be the king and you're going to be the Joker, you know?
Right. That's exactly
I mean, it was like, even though there was some jealousy there, it was like they all kind of realized this is probably the best move, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Even if some of the other dudes were like, damn, how come I didn't think of it? You didn't have the connection, you didn't think of it. And so you're just lucky you're getting in on a good deal at the ground floor.
What was you going to say, Mooch?
I like this idea. I hope they stick together. When I saw all the license plates pulling up, I was like, yeah, this is like good.
I'm surprised the Mooch ain't start sending out her customary text messages and Facebook messages when things get good. Because Moochie, when something good, she will clap and send you something via message say it's good. She sure will. All right, Larry, we're swinging your way now. Okay, so Bumpy has given you guys the blueprint, the plan of how they can control these guineas. And this is his words, not mine. But in order to do it,
that's
Larry,
what they called them
Italians. That
that's
word
what they called them back then. My father still say that word. He's like in his late 70s.
That word is a racial slur.
Right.
It's a racial slur. So even though they use it in the show, we should just say Italians in real life.
I'm just saying what
they said in the show. Yeah. They said guineas. They call us niggas.
They did
on the show.
In the show.
They
said in the show.
All right then. Why am I being correct? And they using the terms they used back then.
Because we're in the show. We're in real life.
We are not about to sit here and debate this and sidetrack my time, y'all. We're gonna keep it moving.
I know you got a baby to look at.
Yeah, man. So Larry, this was for you. So as he's trying to find the right Italian to orchestrate his plan, he had to go through a few people. He went through his homeboy first. He played chess with his homeboy, And his friend was like, nah, I can't mess with you. I can't do it with you. For whatever the reason. So
no,
then,
he told the reason because he was black. He was like, I can't do it.
Right. So then he goes and runs up on this guy who gives him the same damn excuse. But what was funny?
Say no to.
What was funny about him was his level of honesty with his wife.
Right. Yes.
The wife knew everything, Larry. So Larry, when everybody's telling Bumpy, you know, we can't do business with you because you're black, because you're a Negro, what was you thinking? Was you thinking this was going to foul up his plans?
I mean, I knew he was going to run some resistance there. I'll tell you the most interesting thing about that scene with Dude with his wife. Even though he's talked to, he's so honest with his wife, and they know everything, and she's a product of the era, just like everybody else. She at the same time seems so either just genuinely like, I don't give a F about today's social constructs, or she was completely ditzy and oblivious because she was like, oh, you know, that's it. We can probably get you a ticket. And Dude was like, no, you cannot, you know? And she was like, oh, we should have you back over to the house. It's like, it's like you're up here telling this dude, I can't work with you because you're black. And she's up there talking about let's go to the opera together and let's have you over to the house for dinner. It's just like either she's completely oblivious or she's at the same time where her husband's being a racist piece of trash. She's like, I don't care about any of that. I don't care what he's talking about. I'm running this household. I'm gonna do this, you know. So
it sounds like you like the wife.
Dynamic between the two of them really, really interesting.
Sounds like you like the wife, Larry.
The wife was cool with me. She was cool. I mean, she was like, you know, I mean, obviously he respects her because he tells her everything. He wasn't trying to hide anything. He wasn't trying to pretend like he can keep something from her and her not know. So I like the fact that he was honest with her like that. Yeah, but I mean, we knew that he was going to run into trouble. I mean, the reason why he had to find a partner in the first place was because they wouldn't deal with him because he was black. So we knew with him finding a partner that was Italian, we knew it was going to be a problem because he's black. That was the reason why he had the problem in the first place. So we knew it was going to be a problem with him finding a partner.
Moochie, jump on in there.
All right, FYI, I'm going to give y'all a quick history lesson. If y'all watched what's the movie that Lawrence Fishburne was in when he played Bumpy? Remember they went to the opera then. So he was always intrigued by the opera.
Right.
And I like the fact that she asked him to go because it just showed that it was like a little bit of where they might be able to work something out. But he's so worried about what Chin is going to say that it's a no-go with everything.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I know you didn't show the part, but when he was playing chess with him, this guy that you're showing now, he had already told him, let him know, look, Bonanno's not gonna go with you because he's too worried about what Chin is gonna think.
He told him.
Yeah.
And that whole chess game, he got schooled and got a heads up with how he could deal with what and what to do.
Yep. See, y'all don't know. Moochie be in that book hard, boy. Moochie be taking them notes. When you get a review with Moochie, she taking notes. She ain't missing nothing.
You know what's funny with that? You know what's funny with that is everybody seems to be worried about what the other people are thinking instead of just being okay with it. Because like this whole thing with Chin and his daughter, part of that started off because he was afraid of what the other families were going to say if his daughter was with a black man. And then he went around and caused all these problems with the daughter and the boyfriend, which caused all these problems with the family. And it's just like he could have just went ahead and let his daughter do her thing. And when somebody said something to him, he just busts them in their mouth and says, "Talk about my daughter again. You know, wives and kids are off limits," and left it at that. You know.
But they was already talking about his daughter. They was talking about his daughter when she was messing with Bonanno's son.
Oh yeah,
You know?
I forgot about
Yeah.
Banano's son. I
I
forgot
mean, but
all
that was
about.
part of it because she was running around. She was sleeping with dudes. She was acting like she had been back then when you weren't even supposed to. Even not that people didn't sleep around, but you weren't supposed to let it be known that you were sleeping around. She was letting it be known that she was sleeping with these dudes, and so she had been with a few dudes. So they were looking at her like she was a hoe. It's like you could be a hoe. You just have to. You have to be hoe. You have to keep your hoish ways on the down low so that people don't know about it. Now it's a little bit more free. Now you can be a hoe and people don't really say much. You know,
Oh,
unless
really?
you're a rapper, then you make your whole life a whole career.
That's how it is now.
That's how it is now, Larry.
Okay.
Some of them tell me Cardi B doesn't talk about all of her hoe days and make a ton of money talking about how when she was a hoe and hoeing out and all the other stuff that she talks about. Listen to the music.
I thought she was talking about being a stripper.
She talks about being a hoe.
Oh, okay. And
she does talk about being a stripper, but she also talks about being a hoe.
And you're not talking about the one that's spelled HOE.
I'm talking about the one talking about HO, hoe or whore or however you want to say it. And I'm not dogging her for it. First of all, let me get this straight. I'm not dogging Cardi B for it. Cardi B did what she did when she was younger, and she acknowledges it. In some level, she embraces it, and she says, "Yep, this is what I did. I'm not backing away from it. Love me, hate me, I don't care. I'm not going to be ashamed of my life." And I respect people who live their life open like that. You know,
Goddess Godiva says she's not a hoe. She just loves real hard. I like that.
Okay. All right, Moochie, I'm coming to you for somebody that loves real hard too. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, in the backdrop of this whole thing, we've got our boy Cassius Clay getting ready for a match in which everybody and their mama, including Senator Powell, thinks he's going to lose to Sonny Liston. And he invites the great Malcolm X to come be in his side. And what we know is that Malcolm X is looking for a little clout. Malcolm X is looking to get back into the spotlight because the apostle has just been doing Malcolm wrong, avoiding him. Malcolm has been on this hiatus for a little bit. And so he decides he's going to go down to one night in Miami. But his wife is like, what the hell? His wife is like, we going on vacation. Where are we going? What are we going to do? For what? And long story short, ladies and gentlemen, he gets to Miami and he's there with Cassius Clay, and a phone call is made, and it's the apostle telling him to distance himself from Malcolm, this is the very beginning. This one night in Miami is the very beginnings of the fracturing of that relationship with Malcolm and the nation. And he's telling Muhammad Ali to stay away from Malcolm. Mooch, break this thing down and bring us home to how not only did Malcolm stay, Malcolm prayed with the brother, sat ringside with the brother, and still got the publicity he needed after he explained to Muhammad Ali, look, brother, I really came down here because I needed this publicity, but I got your back. Break it all down for us, Moochie.
I was glad that he was honest to, I won't call him Ali. I'm glad he was honest with him and told him, look, I came down here because he wanted to get back in with the nation.
Right.
And I was like, imagine if we was in the days of where technology is where it is today, how quick that phone call would have came. The way social media is. But he probably was down there for a number of days before he saw the pictures come back with him seeing them, because that's why Elijah Muhammad called. Because he saw the pictures and he was like, I saw pictures with you and you shouldn't associate yourself with him, and that he's not he's still not supposed to be having any sort of media attention. And it just shows you how also with his family, how Betty was longing to spend him to be a father to them.
Right.
He was so engulfed with the whole relationship with the nation that they kind of was on the back burner, and Betty held everything down.
Right. So that was Betty's plight. she wants her man to be part of the family. Because she was not having it. Even when they was at the hotel, he's trying to send her and the kids to go play in the pool. She's not having none of it. She's just like, she's fighting it hard as hell. Larry, speak on this whole situation all the way through how Muhammad Ali defied the odds and beat the hell out of Sonny Liston and was talking smack.
Yeah, I thought that I thought there was a couple really very interesting things that happened. With just, like for one, when Malcolm, I think, had both pure intentions and unpure intentions when he went down there. Obviously, unpure intentions because he sort of wanted to use him to get himself back into the good graces of the Nation of Islam. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he had pure intentions to go down there and support him because, as he said, there's none of those guys are down there. None of the nation are down there. They all basically, I'm sure that Elijah Muhammad probably told people don't go down there because if he loses, and he was fighting Sonny Liston, they all thought he was going to lose. Yep. And they didn't want the Nation of Islam associated with all that, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, I think that with Malcolm being down, I think he said that. He said as much to to Betty that none of those other ones are out there. Nobody else is going down there, And when he was when he met up with Cassius Clay in the locker room, and he told him he told him and confessed, look, this is what I was doing, and blah blah blah, and I have to apologize to you. And Cassius Clay said, well, you don't see him here, do you? And he was fully aware of it. It wasn't like he just didn't know that. It wasn't like he wasn't aware that no one else showed up. He was fully aware of it. Mm-hmm. And so even though he wasn't necessarily happy with what Malcolm did, I think he understands it, and he was understanding that, I think that was one of those moments where he realized these people are not all what they make themselves out to be. They are not the pious, the pious religious figures that they portray themselves to be. They are basically just men,
right.
And not honorable ones at that.
Right. The honorable apostle basically showed his hand and opened up Muhammad's eyes in that moment, Larry. Yeah. You done called this boy in the biggest fight of his life, and he's telling you he's trying to convert to Islam. And you don't want the one guy that show up in his corner to be there. You're telling me the distance from him, but yet I don't see nobody else from the nation supporting me. And that crowd, everybody was betting against Muhammad Ali. Every white person in that building was betting against Muhammad Ali. Everybody. Right. And the only one
they didn't like him because his big mouth. That's
right.
And the thing that was hard about it is that I would imagine is that Ali actually converted to Islam in 61. This fight was in like 64. So he had been he had been a Muslim for like 3 years and hadn't told anybody. And when around this time, it wasn't a matter of if he was going to convert to Islam. It was a matter of, was he going to come out publicly and say that he is now a Muslim? And so he did not long after, but I can't remember if it was after or right before the fight, but he did. And, I can only imagine the weight that you must be carrying, that burden to know I'm a Muslim and I can't say it because people will just they'll try and derail my career. They'll try and take away my opportunities. In a lot of senses, I don't mean to make this comparison entirely because I'm sure it's going to offend people on both ends, but I imagine it's a lot like somebody trying to come out as being gay. You carry this burden in the sense of saying, I'm one way and I can't tell anybody. I can't just be free and open. But then when you do, there's a risk of people ostracizing you. Maybe your family just putting you off to the side. Maybe jobs that you wanted are no longer a possibility. I mean, it's just, I can't even imagine. I mean, that must have been tough. That must have been tough. But I'm glad that he saw what he saw in the nation back then, because I know it wasn't long after that Ali left and became a practitioner of Sunni Islam, which promotes racial, equality and whatnot. And it's not all separate like the Nation of Islam was. So
right. All right, Mooch, this one is coming to you, Moochie.
I'm here.
Not too long after this whole thing went down, for the first time since last season, when we saw these two walk off, Bumpy and Malcolm meet up at the coffee shop and they talk about what's going on in the world. Break down this meetup and why it made Malcolm feel so good to see Bumpy.
It made him feel so good to see Bumpy because he listened. They all, they had their little councils where they talked about things that they were going through, and they would help each other out with things. Like for instance, when Malcolm was going through with the nation silencing him, he told him how to strategize. Told him what to do. If I was you, I'd go talk to Ali, and that'll be your way back in if you want to get back with these people. Even though he's not of that religion, he said, but if this is what you want, this is what you do.
Right. He sure did. Larry, speak on this meetup. It was a good. I enjoyed this meetup. It was just like these two powerhouses coming together. Networking with each other. Rapping to each other. Breaking bread with each other. Speak on it, Larry.
Yeah, I loved it too, man. It was like I think part of it was especially for both of them, but it seemed really in that moment more so for Malcolm because he really needed someone. It was really just like one of those great moments where you can sit down with a friend. That's just sort of plain and simple. You're just sitting there with a friend. He doesn't want anything from you. You don't want anything from him. You're just friends. And, some of the stuff, Malcolm, we can't forget that Malcolm used to be a gangster. He was a thug. He was a pimp. He was an addict, and he lived what a lot of people would say is a very full life before he became, minister, Malcolm X and a minister. And so he can understand Bumpy Johnson and living his gangster life and still be his friend. And, and Bumpy respects him for who he is and knows that, unlike some of these other preachers back in the day, this was not a hustle. Even when you look at some of the even when you look at like Elijah Muhammad, a lot of people looked at him as just a hustler because he was messing around, sleeping with all these girls and lived in this big palatial palace in Chicago and all that. He's like people looked at him as a hustler where you saw Malcolm as the real deal. And Malcolm in a sense saved his sister's life. She was strung out there and he saved her life. He got her off that stuff. So, it just seemed like a scene where two people who didn't want anything from each other were able to just sit down and find a moment of refuge in each other because both of them are constantly surrounded by people who have, agendas. And these two men just didn't have that towards each other.
Right. And Malcolm always respects Bumpy's opinion because he knew where he came from. He knew he led him to his road to Islam.
Let me just say this too, man. This brother that's playing Malcolm X, y'all did a banged up job with this brother. I'm enjoying his portrayal of Malcolm. If y'all decide to do a spinoff show, I think my man Ralph Ortiz said it best. He needs to be in a spinoff show. Maybe y'all will go ahead. And I read somewhere they might be trying to spin off Bumpy's driver, who was
Frank Lucas.
I feel like when they bring him in, if they bring him in towards the tail end, because remember, if they bring him in towards then, they could rock out with this season and have a spinoff.
Exactly.
I was saying that to somebody in the comments.
And Larry, I'm coming your way for the last thing we're going to discuss in regards to, and you already know what it is in regards to this show. You cannot talk about this show without talking about what happened at the end of the show when these two behemoths, well, really only one of them's a behemoth. These two was out here fighting, exchanging blows, all while Sonny Liston was getting his ass beat by Muhammad Ali. Now, in this fight, in this corner, you had Bumpy Johnson, the heavyweight champion of Harlem. And on this side, you had a driver who was entitled, who hates the Negroes, who is self-absorbing, who's really not that bright. Bumpy allowed this guy to get a couple of shots on him, and then Bumpy was just dropping him to his knees, punching him right in the face. And by the end of this, Larry, they decided to work together. But Larry, how is this going to end up? Speak on it, my brother, Larry.
Yeah, this scene was so great because it was speaking to us on so many different levels. I mean, you have it speaking to us on just one level with just the two men. You know, we knew some sort of face-off was coming because, you know, when they were in the car and Bumpy's driver asked him, what is this about? Is this about so-and-so? He said, no, this is about me and him. And, you know, and so we knew that there was going to be a face-off of sorts. And, you know, there was also another sort of parallel between, you know, obviously Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston. So they're fighting and going at it. And then you have another sort of, subtext to that where with the Ali Liston fight, Liston was very much of the good Negro, the guy who the white dudes loved and knew his place. And Ali was the exact opposite, or Cassius Clay was the exact opposite. That he was like, I refused for you to try and tell me what you know. My place is wherever I'm at, and that was his attitude. And he was bigger than life. And Liston was the good Negro, and this was you know, Bumpy Johnson saying, my place is wherever I make it. And I'm about elevating black people, and I'm bringing people together. And if I have to defeat you, you know, this white man that he's standing across from as a symbol, if I have to defeat you so I can unite my people, I will do it. I will run through you if I have to. And he knew at the same time, though, as he's fighting him and he's beating him, he doesn't want to beat him to the ground and humiliate him. He wants Chin to get a few licks in so Chin can get some of that tension out. He's been angry at him. He needs to get that out on Bumpy a little bit. But then Bumpy needs to go ahead, and he knows he's knocking him back. He's pushing him back. He's beating him back, and he's letting him know, I can knock you out if I want to. I can put you down if I want to. But that's not what I'm about. I'm not here to put you out. I'm here to work with you, you know? And he's talking about being partners with them. But at the same time, what he's telling him is, I want to be partners with you because you know I'm better than you. Exactly. You know I can beat you if I want to, and instead of me beating you, I'm offering you equality instead of beating you and just taking what you have. You know?
And Chin is just dumb enough to partner up with him. And Bumpy knows this. Bumpy's got him right in his spider web. Moochie, speak on this. I love this scene. All in the rain.
This fight was necessary.
Oh, okay.
This fight was necessary. You know why I'm going to say it was necessary? Because he had a lot of pent-up aggression, Chin. And once you get that out, then y'all can get into the money. Once you get that out, then y'all going to get to the money. So,
I mean, I noticed how they really didn't let Bumpy get knocked down, and they had Chin knocked down to one knee. Moochie, you think they done that on purpose?
Yes, they wanted to show they both were strong men still at the end of the day.
But notice how Bumpy backed off when Chin got down to one knee. Bumpy backed off. He didn't keep hitting him. He didn't keep pulling him
down after that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Bumpy could have came in there and tore that face up when he was on that knee. He didn't.
And I like the fact that they had this going on the same time that the fight was going on with Sonny Liston and Ali.
Well, the only difference was Ali was in there whipping that ass.
Oh, yeah. Come on now.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, doing the shuffle and everything. He was
like I said, the champ is here.
Oh my God. Y'all, here we go. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude our episode 2, season 2. Godfather of Harlem, great show. Follow it with us so y'all can give us more comments. Now, before we get out of here, since none of us really watched the Oscars, I want to talk about a little buzz that happened surrounding the Oscars. They always talk about who has the best dress. So I'm going to show y'all some dresses that showed up, and I want y'all to guess which one. Oh, Mr. Life Games thinks is the best. So I'm going to show y'all this one first. This is my girl, Regina King.
I love her.
Okay, you know that dress is decent. Okay, it's decent. All right.
It looks very like a fairy tale dress.
Yeah, like she's about to go to Disney and be the princess. Yes,
it reminds me of a butterfly.
It's very fairy tale couture.
Yeah. Now here's my girl Angela Bassett, who I love too dearly. That's my girl. You know,
I'm not really feeling that so much.
Me neither. But
I don't feel like it compliments her.
I agree. Just like I don't like this one all that hot either. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you another one. I'm gonna show you Zendaya. And I think this dress was fire. Mooch.
I just think it's okay because she's so skinny.
Yeah,
She's
that's
so
what I was
skinny.
gonna
Look
say.
at when you look at her.
them.
It's like it's almost like the dress is trying to shape her and give her some hips because she doesn't really have any. She doesn't really have much hips. She doesn't really have much breast. It's just, I didn't like it. I mean, I saw it and it's not that I didn't like the dress. I didn't like the dress on her.
Well, now I'm about to show y'all what my real number one dress is. Y'all are going to see 3 dresses, and I want y'all to guess which one is my favorite. Oh, good. So be more careful.
Man, we're seeing booty meat.
So everything.
So Muchella, which one of these 3 dresses you think I like the most?
I think you like the gold one.
Oh yeah, I like Audra Day. I like that dress. Yes, sir, Bob. Then you got Reese Witherspoon in a nice ensemble, and then you got my girl Viola Davis. Larry, what do you think of these dresses?
I kind of like Viola Davis's dress. I really, you know what? I think that dress that Reese Witherspoon is wearing right there would have looked really nice if they would have put that on Zendaya or Angela Bassett. Zendaya, partly because she doesn't really have breasts, so it would have been nice to have it pulled up over there so she could have maybe created some cleavage. Also, because she doesn't really have hips, that belt would have done nice to really cinch it up and create a waistline for her, which I think could have worked well for her. But I like Angela Bassett's dress. I think that's just fire. I mean, what's Viola Davis's dress?
And
She
which
got
one,
grown woman going on.
which
Look,
one you like the best, Moochie?
I like
Oh, by the way, I didn't like the gold dress. The gold dress seemed real hoochie. I'm going out to the club dress.
Not to me. Looks
That just
fine
seemed
to
too
me.
much.
I like the gold
We
one.
don't need to have booty meat. That's like a solid gold
I
dress.
don't see no booty meat. You see,
Yeah.
You don't see booty. You don't see.
No, man. No.
Come
Ain't no
on, man.
booty. Ain't no,
You can see right there.
no
Look,
booty
right there.
meat. That's
You can see
She's
right where the
covering her
leg
teeth.
and the
no,
booty connect.
no
It's booty meat.
That's thigh. That's
It's
thigh.
no
Booty meat. That's
It's
right where the
no
leg.
thigh.
That's right where the leg and the booty connect. That's booty meat.
No,
That
that's
is
not booty meat. That's
That's
ham.
booty meat.
That's a hamstring.
That's
If you guys out in the comment section think that's booty meat, give me a thumbs up. Look at it again. Throw it up in the air. That's booty meat. Come on.
Okay, let me throw it up there again. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
booty meat.
That's
I didn't
not
like
booty
that
meat.
dress.
It's
not booty
close.
meat.
It's close,
Ain't
but it's
nobody
not.
agreeing with you.
Nah, that's booty meat.
No, that's not booty meat. So,
Somebody
Moochie,
said Audra Day needs to play Eartha Kitt next. She kind of does look Eartha Kitt-ish. Like I
Yeah,
can
she
see that.
do.
y'all think
I
she
can
can pull
see
that
that.
off?
I think she could pull off Eartha Kitt.
Okay, so she be in the next Boomerang movie screaming Marcus.
I was thinking maybe they would bring her in for the next Batman.
You could
darling.
You could do, yeah, right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We ain't about to argue with y'all all night over booty meat or hamstring meat. We can go make a ham sandwich for all I
Somebody
care.
said 2 thighs and a biscuit.
Right. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to subscribe to our channels. Be sure to go check out Moochie's review. She did a hell of a fire review for City on the Hill, and she did a damn good job. I want you all to subscribe to her
Buzz
channel.
is with me. Buzz said, "Yep,
Buzz
booty
is
meat."
pleased with you. He said, "Yep, booty meat."
Booty
man.
You know, Buzz has got a sharp eye. He's got a keen eye. So
I was about to say,
You know?
but Buzz's eyes so sharp, he can go invisible like Superman. So where we think the dress ends, he ain't seeing nothing. So he don't count.
Buzz
don't
is using his
count.
X-ray vision.
Yeah, that's
Buzz
what
is using
Buzz
his
doing.
X-ray vision.
I give a shout to Tim Windsor. I saw him earlier, and I meant to shout him out.
That's
Got
right.
got my gums yapping. So
Yeah,
shout out to
man.
Tim Windsor in the building.
And shout out to everybody that came through to show us some love. We greatly appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
We'll be back on Wednesday with a bevy of things to discuss and shoot the breeze with you guys. Be sure to subscribe to everybody's channel, like the videos, check out Moochie, check out my man Larry. Until Wednesday, that next Sex is Hell video. We'll see you guys.
Later, y'all.
Later.
Peace.